You know what? I'm pretty proud of myself. We're actually at the end of season 4, and I almost have every single episode reacted to on my channel. Like, usually when I finish a series, I have like at least 1 or 2 episodes that are missing, and I say that I'm gonna upload them eventually, and I never do. But after this episode, I just have Penalty to upload, and then after that, I'll have all of season 4 in my channel. I'm actually pretty happy about that. You know, uploaded, reacted to, some even have discussions. I think that's actually pretty, I'm gonna pat myself on the back for that one. But welcome back, guys, to the finale of Miraculous Ladybug Season 4. We're looking at Strike Back. Last time was a part 1 to the finale. We're looking at the part 2. Last episode, things got pretty serious. Like, we got Adrian and Felix switching places. Felix finding out about Emily in the basement. We have also, he has like the fake peacock and butterfly Miraculous. I wonder where that's gonna go. Like, I wonder if he's just gonna make a fool out of himself, or if like there's like a bomb in the Miraculous. I doubt it, but like, I wonder what Gabriel's plan is with those fake Miraculouses. We also have Gabriel like basically unleashing like this gigantic death robot with spikes and everything. I'm excited to see where that goes. And yeah, also like, on the side note, you know, Marinette trying to save Adrian from having to live months with Lila around the world. So all that stuff happened. I know I didn't have a breakdown for part 1 for Risk, but I will be including that breakdown with this episode, and it's probably why this episode is so long, because I'm going to be taking the really interesting stuff that is worth talking about in from part 1. And then I'm also going to be taking stuff, obviously, from part 2 as well. Apparently, this episode is supposed to rock all of us. It's supposed to make us cry. It's supposed to make us all, like, you know, very weepy and stuff like that. So I'm excited to see what they have in store. So yeah, also, if you guys hear wind, it's very windy today. I'm sure some of you guys know, like, the day this episode came out was a pretty windy day. So if you guys hear wind, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna wait for the wind to die down. I'm watching this episode now. So yeah, I'm sorry in advance if you guys hear anything. But I'm excited. I don't want to waste any more time. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys end up enjoying this video, then you can like the video, comment, subscribe. All those things really help me out. And subscribe and let you guys know when I upload next. So let's not waste any more time and see what the finale here has in store. English dub, here we go. Felix is like spy scouter. I don't even know how he got something like this. Jeez.
I'll have to talk to my father later.
Tiki, Kalki, Unifa.
What? Oh.
Okay, I guess I'll have to.
Yeah, let's do that later, right? We gotta deal with this.
Try to make the most out of this trip, Adrian.
Oh.
You're about to discover the world.
Did Natalie have a tattoo? I didn't even realize that.
Friends and your father with fantastic memories to share with them.
We'll end up being the best friends in the world since we're going to see it all together.
I hope so with all my heart.
I'm surprised Lila isn't like, wait a minute. She's not me. He's not being mean to me.
Feathers. Dusu, spread my feathers.
Yeah, kind of missed a step. No Kiwami, no transformation.
It's a fake.
He used the same trick that you used on him in the Gabriel Agrest episode.
Fine by me, kitty cat. I've got some urgent stuff to attend to.
Of course.
My dear,
Oh God, he looks so good.
as you can. We in Cat Noir will take countless risks today.
SAMG, do your thing.
Here I come. I'm not
Whoop, nice.
Hey, if we wait a bit, we should see Ladybug and Cat Noir.
I'm gonna get so many likes for this.
It's funny how like people in comic books do this all the time. They go where the danger is, and they don't even need to be controlled. Oh my God.
You, it's dangerous to stay here. Shoo!
They're mad. They're pissed. Jeez. God, this is so good. The giant robot action looks really
Time
good.
to waste, Cata.
What are you doing?
You never want to take any risks.
Of course I do. I take risks all the time.
Oh yeah? Would you risk knowing who I really am behind my mask?
You know very well that.
Wait, that might actually happen.
But only need to akumatize me to get to you. I'm doing this to protect you.
It's me. I'll never get akumatized.
You don't know what you're talking
I
about.
knew that stuff was
Because
still
you
in her
never talk
head.
to me about anything.
That's something that you could talk to him about. But I knew that was still going to be in her
Nice
head.
one, Reina.
Huh? Rena Rouge?
Nothing more exciting than power or money. The magic of cinema.
Oh god, I forgot this man. He just wants to be a director.
Head straight for him. If he attacks us, that'll make for some great footage.
Oh my god. Oh god, that looks so good. I like that. This looks very close to. I mean, it looks like Stormy Weather, like animation, like top tier.
I'll go for reinforcements.
Oh, fancy. Oh god, she got not all of them, but she got a lot of them. Did she get? No, that's not all of them.
Still isn't getting it. Not again. Quick, come with me. Hesperia, immobilize the villain.
Ooh. Just get her off the bike. Still moving? That's weird. God, what is that armor? Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't even know she can control it like that. Okay. Oh, that's not good.
Don't hit him anymore.
Yeah.
That'll make them even more powerful.
Oh, that is overpowered as hell. So I'm guessing that's also like unlimited use. Oh yeah, he does know. He does know. Oh my god. But I don't think Ladybug knows that he knows. Whoopsie. Hey, you never said they couldn't.
I'm sorry, I couldn't keep it from you. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Putting us all in danger.
Oh, nice, Rena. All of them have it. She doesn't have it though.
We were blind. We're not just dealing with a Senta monster. There's also an akumatized villain.
Yep.
That's why we were being so careless.
Now that
A little bit too late though. You're all tagged.
out everything, and above all, herself.
Huh?
Until I've de-akumatized him, I can't leave you with your cataclysm. It's too risky. Until we
Well, why don't you
Rick.
trust him?
Everyone else-
Literally everybody here has powers that are very, very dangerous. I mean, I know Cataclysm is dangerous, but so is everybody else's power. What was I forgot what his akumatized thing was again. Just wreck his shit.
No Akuma.
I tricked you because my object's hidden from you.
Like somewhere in the city? Why hasn't anybody ever done that before? That's actually really smart. Well, god damn it, Adrian. You're proving me wrong here.
Adrian.
Oh no, Felix!
Maybe my idea is way too
Oh,
risky, or is it a
no.
risk not to take this risk? Unify.
Oh,
Voyage.
the shoulder pads. Let me see it like full view. Oh, I like the hair.
Oh, it's me, Ladybug. Bug with a few extra powers.
Yeah, that's 3. That's pretty dangerous.
Your yo-yo gives you direct access to all the miraculous?
The ones in my miracle box, yes. It's
Wait.
a magic shortcut,
Wow.
I don't like how he paid attention to that.
which will grant you the power to
But
locate
he-
and fetch whatever
mean,
your ball has touched.
I don't know.
You will use it for
Is
the
he gonna
greater
go
good,
after
and
the
you will
Ladybug
return it to me.
Miraculous?
Can I?
Of course you can.
Is Bark on the hunt?
With pleasure. Bark on the
She's
hunt.
real spunky today. I like how wholesome they're making this, even though we know it's really dangerous.
Like this?
No, with the ball. A light touch will be enough.
Ugh, so close.
Okay, I get it.
Let me try that again with your yo-yo.
Fine. Where is it?
Burrow.
Time travel.
Little boy before he was akumatized.
It's bigger on the
You
inside.
can travel through time?
Yes.
Yep.
And even though time
The
travel
Miraculous
is
are
always
honestly
risky,
really,
today
really
we have to
powerful.
take that risk.
It's time to go home.
Oh, right. I completely forgot. I watched this episode like a month ago. Or a little bit.
Whoa. Will it work on my parents too?
Fluff, Kalki, devise.
It's looking real Attack on Titan over here. Where have you been? It's been years. Imagine. Okay, that's fixed, but we still need to take care of the Senti monster in order to fix everything.
Yeah, actually, we'll probably continue this later. You guys stay right there, okay? Flairmidable. Call me Flairmidable.
Flairmidable.
It really suits you.
Formidable? Formidable villain? Damn, Felix. Taking my spotlight.
Here you go, little buddy.
Look at the
Even though you're
tail.
so brave that you're out of moth with this, you'll still remember to always be careful.
I mean, it doesn't work, but it looks cute.
Let's all go recharge before dealing with these centimonsters.
Adrian, remember, we got a job to do.
You've given me the courage I needed, Ladybug. I feel like from now on, nothing can stop.
I'm worried that he's just gonna like turn the corner and be like, haha! Okay, no, he doesn't do that. But like, I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
New holder of the dog, Miraculous. Miraculous of the dog, Miraculous of the cat. Falcon cat. Funny, isn't it?
Nice working with you, Cat Noir.
Come on.
I feel like he knows. Does Adrian know? I feel like Adrian knows.
The Miraculous. even
They're
though
literally
they
alike!
exist in harmony. Spending a lot of time together now that he's joined the team.
Oh God.
Forever.
Okay.
Ready, Miraculous team?
You know that she would pick Adrian every single time, even if it doesn't make any sense.
We're gonna trap them. We'll be covered.
God.
No needless risk.
Mark.
Booster Bolt, since you can choose your power, give.
Still my favorite. I never really understood his powers in the last episode. That's not good.
I'll transform into Pegabug and open a portal that the Centimonsters will fall into.
What?
Portal where?
What's the
To
point of the
someplace where
sunglasses
they can never
again?
hurt anyone again.
I gotta
It's
pay more
showtime,
attention.
guys.
Nice. Ooh, that looks so good from far away.
Voyage!
Oh my God, that looks so sick. SAMG. I'm gonna miss you so much. I gotta follow what SAMG does in the future, cause if they do more stuff like this.
I'm sorry.
Miraculous
What?
Ladybug!
Why did he say I'm sorry?
Risks she should have lost.
Oh, there he goes.
It's too risky, now that Shadow Moth knows. But I don't need to be a superhero to be your friend.
But I want you to be a
know that,
superhero.
right?
I have a feeling Shadow Moth might not even be around anymore. So hopefully she can get her powers back when he's gone.
How could the plan fail, Ladybug?
I had
You made a
giant
mistake.
freaking
There's no point
robots!
going on any-
I've lost Adrian, sir. He's no longer.
You've been played. Oh no! Why is she up? What's Lila gonna do?
Give what back to you?
Well, the Miraculous
Stop.
of the dog.
But you didn't give me
Oh,
anything.
okay.
Of course I did.
I thought she was just gonna say the miraculous.
Betray? Felix. Want the real Peacock Miraculous?
Just the peacock miraculous? Not
I don't know
the
what you're talking
butterfly?
about.
Do give you something better in exchange?
Ladybug and Cat Noir's Miraculous?
No.
No. All the other Miraculous. And I won't be needing it anymore. First, make up your mind. Time is ticking.
But does that work?
How do I know
If
that you
she's
won't use the Peacock
detransformed?
Miraculous against?
Like he'd have to hurry up and take all those miraculous out. I definitely have to rewatch this episode because I won't shut up.
I renounce you.
Deuce's like, yeah, I'm free! Nuru is like, God damn it! Ugh. Just dump them all out quick.
Ladybug, finally!
The dog! Felix!
Okay.
He has the yo-yo!
Okay.
That means
Breathe.
he has the Miraculous!
He's yanking them out! The time travel one!
Wish will finally come true.
Ladybug, try to keep calm.
She's
Think,
like
There must be a
hyperventilating.
way to get your yo-yo back. If here.
I don't know anymore. What if it's a trap? What if you're Felix?
If you're gonna trust me once, please let it be this time.
Let there be some left. There has to be some left.
You took the really good one. The time travel
Lay
one.
down.
The time travel one is really bad.
I renounce you.
Man, you have fun over there.
DK spots on! No, there's
All of them are gone. All of them are gone!
I lost.
God damn, this looks...
People of Paris.
Oh my
Ladybug
God.
promised to protect you. Well, she lied to you. Now I am more powerful than ever.
And including the
From
Fox
now on, I will be
Miraculous.
attacking you relentlessly. We're probing your thoughts.
Oh, swap.
Stealing your dreams. Harnessing your deepest fears. Whatever damage I can cause, I will not stop.
Lady.
That's how you know you got a good person in front of you. No, I told you so. No, any of that.
Them back one by one.
Just support.
Until the very last. The best superhero there ever was. Them, the people of Paris.
Oh my god. How did they all know to come here?
Your loyal partner.
Yo, fuck you, Shadow Moth! Or I guess Hawk Moth now. It's funny how things have like sort of gone back to normal. Oh god. I do think that season 5 is going to be the reveal season though, because that's going to be Thomas's last season, so I'm sure he's gonna want to do it himself. But wow, yeah, we have a lot to break down. I don't want to waste any more time, so let's just jump right in there now. Here we are, the final breakdown from Miraculous Ladybug season 4. I mean, we have a lot to talk about. I'm going to be combining part 1 and part 2, which is probably why this video is so long, or at least longer than most of my Miraculous Ladybug videos. I mean, we're finally here. Once again, I think it's just really cool that I was able to, at least, like, you know, I was able to not have every single breakdown, but at least have every single reaction. I really think that overall that this season was a lot of fun for me, and yeah, I did have my problems and I did have my like concerns, but overall I think that this was just a really good season, a really different season for Miraculous Ladybug, and this is a very different finale than what we're used to. It's more of like an Empire Strikes Back sort of episode, where you have the main characters losing essentially, and just like being thrown off their game, but not giving up hope. Which is what I think, like, you know, with Chat Noir and the people of Paris down below. I just think that it was a very good Empire Strikes Back, you know, all is not lost, but we did lose sort of finale, which I think was really, really good. Didn't really give me the tears that I think Thomas and all the writers were hoping for, but it got me to connect with Marinette and Adrian a lot more, and I definitely do appreciate them as characters a lot more. I think even like the harshest critics for this episode, like I know some harsh critics, and even they were like, you know what, this was a good finale. So I think I mean, I'm very excited for season 5, and I think season 4 overall could be seen as a success, at least for me. We're starting off this breakdown talking about the animation. SAMG, their final go around with Miraculous Ladybug, I think was a huge success. Part 1 looked great, looked amazing. I'm going to be talking about, like, I mean, I guess I could talk about it now, the facial expression that I was gushing over from Gabriel, as well as the voice acting. I feel like the voice acting had a lot to do why I was like so, like, you know, just so shocked and so impressed with that scene. But the animation as well, just the facial expression of Gabriel, like changing to like realization and sadness, like I really did like that a lot. I think that scene was just really good. Once again, I think the OST, the voice acting, and the facial animation was just so good, and like you saw me there, I was speechless last video. But SAMG was just really good in that episode. In part 2 as well, I think they kind of upped it a little bit more for part 2. Like part 1 was already upped, and then after that they upped it even more for part 2, because honestly it looks like it could compete with Stormy Weather. Like really easily it can compete with Stormy Weather. In fact, I think it was even better than Stormy Weather, and that's something that we haven't had since season 1 with Stormy. Like even all the other episodes of season 1, I don't even think really got there as far as animation. But this episode, like as part 2, it just really looked like it could beat Stormy. Of course, that's like, you know, up to you guys. I just think like, you know, not only like, you know, the characters themselves and the lighting and stuff, but just the spectacle really helped it to just like, oh my god, it was really good. It sucks seeing SAMG go. I'm gonna miss them a lot. Honestly, I'm gonna try and like track down where they're working next. I know they have like other projects, which is why they had to, like, you know, up the price, because it was just so expensive and so difficult to, you know, take care of all those projects at once. So maybe I'll find them somewhere else and they'll be doing some crazy work, because they did such a good job in this show and such a good job in this episode. I was wondering, because like I love SAMG, like what Miraculous Ladybug fan doesn't, but I feel like during this whole like season, they were kind of like, you know, lowering their quality just a little bit. I know I just said I'm a huge fan of SAMG, but it just definitely feel like the quality of their animation went down a little bit. I understand why now. It's because they were preparing for part 1 and part 2 of the finale. So I think that it was definitely worth it. They did such a good job in this episode, and I know the other animation studios are sweating, because it's like, All right, well, they kind of just left us to compete with this. Honestly, I don't expect them ever to reach that sort of quality again. Maybe in the specials, because I know SAMG said they're not taking care of like usual episodes of Miraculous, but maybe they'll still be in charge of the specials, which is what I'm hoping for. But the other animations, like studios, all I can honestly hope for is just consistency. If it's consistent, then I'll be happy. I don't want like one episode to look like Psycho Comedian and then another episode to look like Simple Man or like Shilin. Like, let's try and at least just keep it consistent. And then for the finale, maybe just up it up a little bit, but like nothing that's gonna break the bank, nothing that's gonna upset the other episodes, you know? So that's all I can hope for. I don't think they're ever gonna get to SAMG, not to strike back standards, like definitely not, because jeez, the characters, the action. I loved when the giant robot was moving around, how it like the camera moved with it, and it was just so good. Oh god, this episode was both of those episodes are really good. I'm gonna miss SAMG for sure. Like, you guys also heard me talk about the butterfly and the sunset reflecting off the butterfly's wings. Like, are we ever gonna get something like that again? I don't know, but like the other animation studios are getting better, definitely. But like, God, this was like God tier right here. I loved it so much. So we get into the actual story, and we get a little bit of an update of how Chat is feeling. If you remember in Crew Neko, he was, he realized that it's not all about him, and that he has to understand that he has to share the spotlight with all the other heroes, because Ladybug is trying to do something different, and like, trying to include more people in order to make the missions a lot more safer and a lot more like, quicker to deal with. Even though the Eiffel Tower did get destroyed in the beginning of the episode. The point of Crow Neko was for Chat Noir to realize that he does have to share the spotlight, and that it's nothing personal. And then that's what he learned in that episode. And then this episode came, and you could tell that he's still a little bit upset about it. I think less about like the fact that there are a bunch of people that he has to share the spotlight with, and more the fact that Ladybug isn't telling him everything, which is the big thing between these two in this two-parter. Honestly, it's been the big thing that's been going on throughout this whole season. I definitely agree that he definitely should get to have a little bit more responsibility. He knows some of the identities of the heroes, so I don't see why he can't help, pick them up and stuff like that. I just think that I guess the only thing that's keeping it from is the fact that Ladybug has a set amount of time, like 5 minutes before she dematerialize or demiraculize or whatever, detransform. And so like he doesn't have as much time as like Rena Rouge, who could just detransform in front of, who she can just detransform in front of. So Chat Noir not having that chance to see who Marinette is probably why she doesn't want to risk detransforming in front of him. So that could be why she just does like, don't even bother. But I could definitely understand why Chat Noir is like, I want to take up more responsibility. We both got the Miraculous at the same time. I don't want to just be another hero, So I could definitely understand why he's still upset. And honestly, I think that this is going to carry on through season 5 because they still didn't really talk about it. Like, that's the thing. I feel like that's what characters need to do. They need to talk, and they didn't really get a chance to. And Chat Noir says that he's fine and like he's that devoted partner, but at the same time, they still haven't talked about the whole trust thing. Marinette still hasn't talked about the whole Chat Blanc thing, which we will get to. And like, I feel like Chat Noir still like he's said his piece, but I feel like they need to sit down and talk a lot more, similar to like how Marinette and Chat Noir sat down and talk about like how to approach somebody that you like. Remember in the Ice Cream 2 episode? I think we need an episode about like that, but focused on discussing where they stand and like where it comes to trust and Chat Blanc and all of those things. Until then, I don't think that situation could be fixed. Chat Noir said like, yeah, I'm your devoted partner, but he seemed fine before, and then he goes right back to feeling feeling bad. So it's like, I think the only way to really focus on this is to solve this through talking. And it's a shame that they didn't do that in this episode. I feel like with all this build up, I feel like that should have been in the finale, but I guess there was just so much. I just hope that it's fixed in season 5. Hopefully this isn't just swept under the rug. Hopefully this is talked about, because it just doesn't feel finished, So we start off the episode with all the other heroes. We get to see them again, and we even get to see Rana. And I was like really scared, because I was like, oh god, I hope Rena isn't just like somewhere and like, you know, I hope Alia gets to participate, and she does. She gets like that sniper position, and she's watching everybody, which I think is really cool. And honestly, she was a really big help in part 2. I remember I saw one tweet that was just like, man, it sucks that Rena Rouge isn't going to be around anymore, because Alia used to get things done. And even in like part 2, she was getting things done too. Like she was like, you know, doing the all clear, and she was able to find out about the tags that no one else was able to. Like she was able to piece it together. You know, past episodes, she was the one that helped with the charm, and she was the one that was helping get you know, help with the pigeon and all that stuff, Mr. Pigeon. So like there was just so much that she did, and it's a shame that she's not a miraculous holder anymore. Hopefully season 5, even though she's not a miraculous holder, she said that, you know, I'm still gonna be your friend, superhero or not, but she should still be allowed to be a hero, you know, getting things done behind the scenes. You know, I did a theory where I thought that, you know, maybe she's trying to find where Hawkmoth who he really is and where he lives, based off of like this poster and this, like, you know, map that she seemed to have been making, you know, trying to pin where all the Akumas are located. Hopefully we get more about that. You know, she's the reporter. She's the one that finds out the secrets. Hopefully we get more about that, because she still does know who Marionette is. So she should still, you know, be involved. That's just something that I hope that we get to see in season 5. So fast forward all of the, you know, the international traveling that Gabriel wants Adrian to do. It was cool to see him try and stand up to his dad, but like definitely, like he said, there was like an invisible wall there that's stopping him, and some people are saying that that's the Senti monster in him, and I think that too. So we didn't really get anything on the Senti monsters. We'll talk about the Senti monsters soon, but yeah, there were a lot of hints in this episode for sure. I think there are a lot more hints in part 1 than in part 2. But yeah, so we're skipping that, and then after that we talk about. So I'm going to skip to the Natalie's room scene where Gabriel like comes up with the plan to do the whole risk thing, and he talks about how Ladybug doesn't make any risks, which I don't know if that's true. I feel like she does make risks, but not like stupid risks like the risk akumatized victim you know, does to people. Like they have them do like stupid risks as opposed to just like, you know, risks that end up working out, if that makes sense. You know, risks that make more sense. So yeah, I just want to note Natalie's room. Like, her room looks like an adventurer's room. And we see more of that later on in the episode, too. Like, she even has her own adventurer's outfit. I don't know what that's about. Like, I'm guessing there's some stuff to Natalie's past. We know that she's a badass. We've seen her fight even without the Miraculous. And we see her go up against, like, villains. So she can fight. And we I guess know that she did help with the. Do we know that she helped with the Shanghai? I don't think we know that for a fact. But, like, she seems to know her way around doing business and stuff. And we see around her room, and she has all these treasures from all around the world, and she even has, like I said, her own adventures outfit. So I'm just wondering, is this from like when Emily was around, and it was like Emily, Gabriel, and Natalie? Maybe it was like some love triangle going around, or was this even before Emily and Gabriel? Maybe she was an adventurer before Gabriel picked her up, and she was just traveling the world and stuff, and that's what got Gabriel and Emily's attention. That's a possibility. Maybe she was looking for the Miraculous too, and they bumped into each other, and she ended up working for them. But it definitely feels like she had a past, and I'm hoping that we get into that a little bit more. She hasn't gotten her charm yet, so there might be a Natalie focused episode, which I think will be really cool. I know Ladybug is still giving out charms, so maybe she'll get her own charm one day, and then we'll get a little look into her past as well. I think that definitely does. That definitely needs to be a thing, because like there's still a lot of stuff about Natalie that we still don't know, and she seems to be really, really cool. So hopefully we get into her background a little bit more in the future. So while Shadow Moth is looking for his next victim, we get to finally see how he actually finds people, and he gets like this negative vision where he gets inside his head and he like hears all of the negative thoughts going around. We were wondering what he was doing to, like, you know, find all these people. Like, was he stalking everybody through butterflies? What's going on? It seems like he is, like, you know, he goes into this like mindscape, and he's able to, like, you know, find different people with negative thoughts. And then he goes with Froggy. I don't know what his real name is, and I thought he was a girl for a second. So like I know in part 1 I accidentally call him girl and she, and I'm sorry about that, but I fixed it, I'm pretty sure, in part 2. I'm recording this the day after, so I'm trying to remember if I think I called him a he and a boy and all that stuff in part 2. So yeah, my mistake. But yeah, we focus on Froggy, and I definitely do like this more incognito villain idea that Shadow Moth had. Like, this is honestly a very threatening villain because he's more of what do you call it? More of a support class villain, for the main strike back villain, and the fact that he is incognito and he's just dressed like anybody else, like any other kid. It's like he's able to go around Paris, no problem, no sleep, and just like, infect everybody. And that's a very dangerous thing. I think if we had more villains that look like people, we would be in trouble because it would be harder to find out who he is. And also hiding his akumatized item was also really smart. I completely forgot he did that while watching part 2. And like, I was just like, oh, honestly, that's actually a really, really good idea. More villains should do that. But of course, a lot of the villains that have their thing like akumatized, and it ends up being their weapon, so that's a little bit harder to do. But there are some cases where it's like, oh yeah, you can hide your item, and it's a lot harder for Ladybug to find it. So yeah, I just think that was a really cool idea, and I do like the design, even though it's simple. And the character himself was also a lot of fun. I like this little weapon too, and just the fact that he's very very cheeky. I think he's very much a kid. I just think that was really cool. So yeah, I liked Froggy, the akumatized victim, and I liked his powers as well, and it definitely brought a lot of drama in part 1 and part 2. So like I said, we do see Adrian trying to stand up to his dad, and I emphasize trying because it ends up not really working. We see him get all heated up, but then after that Gabriel just says one word and then that's deflated. You could definitely look at that as a sentient monster thing, and you could also look at that just how it works in his household. Either way makes sense. I don't know if he was touching his ring when he gave Adrian orders, so there's a chance. I mean, he's always technically touching his ring because it's on his finger, but we see him when he's moving his ring, that's when it works. So yeah, I think it does have to be a more mystical, actual invisible wall, because everybody else is doing stupid things, but Adrian is the one that is having trouble actually doing anything. So there's something actually fighting this mystical power coming from Froggy, and I think it might be Adrian's own mystical power as a sentient monster. That's of course my thing. You could look at this as just a sign of abuse, and just a sign of just how overbearing his father is, but I just think that it's a little bit more mystical than that, while also symbolizing that sort of household and that sort of relationship. So you could definitely recognize it as a normal thing while at the same time seeing it as a mystical thing. At least I do. And we just see that at the end he ends up agreeing with his father, and he ends up going on that trip, and everybody is so happy for him, and he I guess doesn't want to seem like a whiner in a way. It's like, oh, this privileged white kid is going on an international trip. All right, what does he have to complain about? In that case, that's why he's hiding why he's doing it, because he is from a privileged background. So I think any excuse would just be seen as whining in a way. And that's sort of why he's even from his best friend, he's not saying anything. But Marinette is able to see that, and he confides in her because of that. And I'm a little bit surprised that Nino and Alia don't catch what's going on, or at least are very upset at Marinette for catching it and trying to stop it. Nino is oh, Adrian has never been anywhere, so he should get this opportunity to go international and travel and all that stuff. And Alia is yeah, you can't stop him, Marinette. Trying to stop him for your own sake is bad. And I'm just really, guys? First of all, Nino, when it comes to modeling, by the way, Nino I guess completely forgot that Adrian doesn't really like all this modeling stuff, because I remember in past episodes he recognizes that his father puts too much on him. He does all this modeling stuff and all this stuff for him, and yet Gabriel doesn't doesn't appreciate that and stuff. I remember that from the Bubbler episode. You know, he doesn't outright say that, you know, the modeling, Adrian hates modeling, but he recognizes that modeling and all that stuff isn't like exactly for Adrian, it's for his father. You know, he does all this stuff so the least that Gabriel can do is, you know, let him have a party. I remember that from Bubbler. So he should recognize that this is work, not, you know, fun. This isn't his dream or anything. But for some reason, Adrian is like, Nino agrees with, I think, Alex or something, when Alex says that anybody, like, who doesn't want to be a model? And I'm just surprised that he doesn't catch that he's doing this for his father and not for himself. And then Alia, I'm surprised that, like, she's just like, oh yeah, why are you trying to break this for Adrian? Why are you trying to ruin this for Adrian? And it's like, really? Do you think Marinette would go this far? Like, she has done weird and dumb things in the past, you know, take Adrian's phone and stuff like that, and maybe side with Adrian when she shouldn't, but she's never done anything that like hurt Adrian, at least not intentionally. She never does anything that goes like, Adrian is mine, I'm keeping him away from this because I don't want him near anybody else. That's something that she's never done. Like I said, she's like, you know, maybe gone her way and like, you know, hurt other people to make sure that Adrian doesn't, like, you know, get with them, I guess, but like she's never hurt Adrian himself. So like I'm just surprised that Alia would like say that. I kind of wish that, you know, Nino and Alia acted like themselves and would have sided with Marinette, but like for some reason they were just all drinking the Gabriel Kool-Aid and was like, no, this is perfect for Adrian, this is what he wants for sure. And it's like, really, seriously, come on now. Especially Nino, because it's like, I mean, Alia too, both of them, because like they are both best friends with Marinette and Adrian, so they should know them a little bit better. Alex and Rose, I can understand, but like those two, they should have known better. But yeah, I did like how Adrian confided in Marinette and just like completely just barfed out all of the stuff that he actually felt and just vented, and I just think that that got them closer together a lot more. Gabriel is still in the picture, which means the modeling is still in the picture, which could mean that maybe Marinette and Adrian, this is a way for them to get closer. You know, Marinette sees Adrian modeling and stuff, he has this smile on, but Marinette knows that it's basically really, really fake. I'm just wondering where this could bring their dynamic in the future. Maybe season 5 is probably gonna be the season where Adrian stops modeling. But I wonder if that's gonna happen, like, you know, maybe near the beginning of the season, or is he gonna have to wait until Gabriel's out of the picture for him to stop modeling? It would be pretty interesting if he, while things are still pretty normal, have Adrian, like, you know, go like, have maybe Marinette talk to Adrian and, you know, convince him to stand up for himself, and have him like tell his dad, I'm done modeling, I'm done, you know, basically being your model boy for your product. You're gonna have to actually hire a model. So yeah, I think that would be pretty interesting. I'm excited to see where this goes, because things are still like, Adrian's still gonna have to be modeling. So how is Marinette gonna see this now as opposed to how she used to? She used to really like the way that Adrian modeled, but now it's definitely gonna seem different to her. So yeah, I'm excited to see where that goes. So if you guys remember in Strike Back, Chloe and Lila have this I guess agreement now, this team whatever, and I think that it might actually go a little bit deeper than what we think. I think it's a lot more than just Marinette stopping Marinette from getting close to Adrian. And I think that if you remember that they both have like this common enemy, I don't think it's Marinette, I think it's Ladybug. And I think that maybe they're gonna be doing some stuff to basically beat Ladybug, and I'm excited to see where that goes for sure. But yeah, here we just see them basically bullying Marinette and pushing her to the ground and stopping her from trying to connect with Adrian and all that stuff. And I guess I was wondering like why, well, when I was watching this, I didn't watch Strike Back yet. But I did kind of figure like, okay, like Chloe said, that she can basically go anywhere. She has money, so she can go where Adrian is going. She has that kind of privilege, so she's fine with that. She doesn't really care. In fact, this is probably helping her because it's at least keeping Adrian from Marinette, somebody as opposed to from Lila, who Adrian doesn't really like. So I don't think Chloe has much competition between Lila and Marinette. Marinette is the scarier option for Chloe, so I think she's fine with Adrian spending time with Ali. I don't think don't think she has anything to worry about. So yeah, I'm wondering where this partnership is going to go. I honestly think it's going to be a little bit more. We're going to talk about that near the end, when I talk about how with Lila smiling and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely for now, they have this thing going on. I'm wondering how far it's going to go. I do think it's going to involve the Miraculous at some point in season 5. So somebody else that notices that Adrian is not well and is not happy with this whole international travel thing is Kagami herself. She has been around she's been around at least around the beginning of this season. But it's definitely clear that Adrian and Kagami have this sort of, connection, this relationship. They used to date. And she recognized that he was not well. It's crazy how she recognized that, but not Nino, which really upset me, honestly. It's like, come on. Like, friendships can indeed, be just as powerful as romantic relationships, I think. I think this, like, putting romantic relationships so high, especially at their young age, I just think is so weird. Not like in a creepy weird, just like such a weird mindset to have. I definitely think that Nino, somebody who has been Adrian's best friend, should be able to realize, especially if Kagami realized that Adrian was not happy with this whole thing. But Kagami does realize this, and I really do like their scene together, because Kagami just basically tells him straight up, you gotta stop, you gotta stand up for yourself. You gotta stop letting people, puppeteer you. And I know it's definitely not as simple as that, especially considering Adrian has nowhere else to go. I guess he would have to live with his aunt, but like, I don't know. We don't really know the situation with Felix and his family right now. So like, as far as like, Paris, and as far as his immediate family, like his mom is in the basement, wasting away. Not wasting away, but like on ice basically. And then all he has other than that is his dad. There's no grandparents. There might be other cousins and other aunties. But like Felix does say that Adrian is his favorite cousin, but that could be like, he could be talking about like cousins on his dad's side, and if that's the case, then Adrian has no connection with them. So I'm wondering, like, I know it's definitely not as easy, but at the same time, it's like you gotta stand up for yourself. You have to, if you don't want to go travel internationally, then obviously something needs to be done for sure. And Kagami goes really just in on him, and I'm wondering if that's because like maybe she had her own tag. They didn't show it, but maybe that's just Kagami. But like either way, like Flag says, that she has a lot of character. It's why I love her a lot. I really like her character, and I'm glad that she was there to basically just talk some sense into Adrian and go like, and for sure, definitely having Felix talk to Gabriel instead of himself was oh, I forgot to talk about Felix. Okay, I'll talk about Felix after I'm done talking about Kagami. But having Felix talk to Gabriel for him was definitely not the play, especially since that did end up leading to Gabriel having all of the Miraculous. So definitely, at least having Felix fight his own battles was definitely not the way to go. He had to deal with it himself, and Kagami realizes that, told him that, and Adrian ended up realizing that himself. So I think that was a really good scene. Kagami always like on top of things. I really like her a lot. Hopefully we get to see more of her in season 5, even though the whole dating thing and the whole love hexagon is over. Hopefully we get to still see her participate a lot more like she did in this episode. But yeah, Felix, he's in both parts. He's a big player in this episode. He's going to be a big player, I imagine, in season 5 too. But yeah, he comes and he goes like, yeah, I'm here to help you. I noticed that you were very upset about this whole international thing, and I'm here to basically fight your own battles for you. Like he definitely is very snarky towards Adrian and gives a lot of offhanded comments about like just thinking how pathetic he is and stuff like that, and how he needs to stand up to himself and stand up for himself. And he talks about how Adrian is not able to stand up to his dad, but he is. And once again, you can look at it, it's sort of like it could be a double meaning where Adrian is like, just too scared to, but at the same time it could be because he's a sentient monster and he physically can't. But Felix, he can. So I'm wondering where that's possibly gonna go, So yeah, that could go either two ways. As far as Felix's motive, While he does say that he's there for Adrian, it's clear that he definitely isn't. He's here to finish what he started and try and get the Peacock Miraculous. And why he wants this Miraculous, it's not clear. It definitely is tied to Senti monsters in some way. I honestly have multiple ideas, and like I want to do a video on it, like, you know, talking about them in the future, but like it's definitely tied to Senti monsters for sure, and it's just very, very interesting. Felix is such a really, really good villain. In fact, especially if he is a Senti monster, even more compelling than Gabriel, because like I feel like Felix is a character who is fighting his destiny. If he is a Senti monster, then he's fighting this role that life has put him in, and I feel like just like that fight and that drive is just a lot more interesting than Gabriel. While it is like a more romantic sort of plot that Gabriel is in, just that, like, you know, I'm gonna, you know, screw destiny, I'm gonna live the life that I want to live, I'm not gonna let anybody control me. Like, that sort of storyline is just a lot more interesting to me, which is why Felix is just very interesting. I'm really excited to see where he goes from here, whether it's going to end with a redemption or whether it's going to be like, no, I'm not going to get redeemed, and maybe like he's going to die in some way, in shape or form. I don't know. But yeah, Felix's storyline is just very, very interesting to me. And he comes in, he tries to get the Miraculous. We know that it's a fake, but he also stumbles onto Emily's basement trap tomb thing, and I'm wondering if there maybe is a connection with Emily, because we know in Gabriel Agress, he looks at the picture of Emily and he smiles warmly, and then he looks at, so he does have emotions, and then he looks at Emily, like the actual Emily, and he's just horrified and scared. Now you can look at it in two ways. One, he sees Emily and like he sees a woman who is supposed to be dead locked up in Gabriel's basement, and he is understandably freaked out. There's another thing though, he could possibly have this sort of connection with Emily, which seems to be the case, and just seeing her is like blew his mind. I'm wondering, and I have an idea, and it's connected to his mom and stuff, but I don't know for sure. And you know, when I rewatch the season and I like get a better idea about Felix, and you know, watch the episode where Felix is debuted, I'm gonna try and get like a better idea with the relationships and stuff like that. But there definitely seems to be something. I don't know if all the clues are there for us to already know what's going on, but I'm gonna have to wait and see, because there definitely seems to be something between Emily and Felix, and I'm wondering what it is. But yeah, something else to note is that Felix is just like kitted out. He has like a bunch of tech. He has like a scouter, and he also has this like spy device that shuts off cameras and stuff like that and unlocks locks. I'm wondering like who this kid is. I know he's from London, but he's definitely not James Bond. So what the heck is going on? Is he being funded by maybe Emily's sister? Could Emily's sister be involved in this? Like, I know he's rich, but does Emily's sister not know that he's buying all of this expensive tech for some reason? Like, I feel like maybe it could be possible that she's in on it too. I don't know, but that would be pretty interesting for sure. It's just like I'm wondering where he got all this tech from, and like how he's just so capable. It's like, where is all this coming from, Felix? Who are you for sure? Could he be working for an organization? I don't think he's working for an organization. I think he's doing this by himself. But I'm just wondering where he's getting all this from. And if more people are involved. So speaking of the Senti Monster theory, this is a very big highlight in this episode for sure. Part 1, I think, definitely leans on the whole Senti Monster theory a lot more than Part 2 does, because it just has more time to focus on it. So we have the whole thing with, so for one thing, Gabriel talks about how this plan with risk is kind of him having to risk himself, or having to, like, you know, give some risk himself and have him lose some control. And while he does that, he like looks at the ring, or he touches the ring or something like that. And it's just more words leaning towards the whole Senti Monster theory. This could be Gabriel trolling us, but there's just so many clues put into the whole ring and the whole Senti Monster thing and the whole control that I feel like it's a lot more than that. So there is that, like, you know, him giving up the ring to Natalie is him giving up control of his Senti Monster, if that is the if that is the tool that is used to control Adrian, and if he is a Senti Monster. So on top of that, he also entrusts Natalie with the ring and his son. He says this. And he says that both at the same time. Of course, Natalie is the one looking after his son, but he's also taking off the ring. He's giving the ring to Natalie. Why would he give his ring to Natalie if not to control his son while he is traveling the world? Like, that ring is connected to his son in some way. Otherwise, why would Gabriel give his wedding ring, something that he has been, like, you know, protecting through tooth and nail, to Natalie? What reason would he have to do that if it isn't to control Adrian while Natalie is guarding Adrian? So yeah, I definitely think that's a huge clue to the fact that Adrian is a Senti Monster and that ring is the thing controlling him. By the way, if that's true, then Gabriel has a lot of trust in Natalie, and he's also putting a lot of pressure on Natalie as well. Like, I know she's already watching over him, but like giving her the ring is making it official. And not in the way that she wants. So yeah, this is definitely a big deal for Natalie and Gabriel, and I think that's a very big tell on how their relationship goes. And also that is a very big clue whether or not Adrian is a Senti Monster. On top of that, Gabriel's expression, that amazing, beautiful expression that he has when he realizes that he doesn't have the ring anymore, is telling as well. Like, he realizes that he doesn't have any control over Adrian without that ring, which, not great parenting, but it is possibly the case. And then Natalie is the one that steps in and goes, all right, Adrian, do this. And Felix, knowing that about the whole Senti Monster thing, complies and acts like he is under her control. That is definitely something to note for sure. I do think that Felix, of course, was pretending that he was under her control, and yeah, I definitely think that he is in on it as well. And I think even Gabriel knows that he's in on it. But yeah, that's just very, very, very interesting. Once again, if that is the case, and if Senti Monsters, if Adrian is a Senti Monster, then the fact that Gabriel just needs that ring to, you know, tell his son what to do and, like, you know, give guidance to his son is very telling to their relationship. Like, I definitely can see that for sure. Like, Gabriel spends no time with Adrian, and, like, the only time he does spend time with him, you know, besides a few times, is when he's giving orders. So, like, just the fact that he needs to tell Adrian to do something with that ring, it just shows the disconnect and just shows their relationship, and just shows, like, there's just so much wrong with it for sure. So much wrong with it. So we got all that stuff with Felix and Adrian and Gabriel and all the aggressive stuff going on. But we also have the stuff with Marinette, where she, like I said, is trying to stop, you know, Adrian from having to do something that he doesn't want to do. Nobody's on her side. She's on her own. She also has that wrist tag, so she's just doing whatever she wants. And, you know, something that Tiki brings up that I think is going to be addressed in the future is the fact that Adrian is her weakness. Obviously, that's something that we've seen throughout the series, but it's definitely showing when she's Ladybug, that she kind of acts up when Adrian is around. We remember how she acted when Adrian was the Vesperion, and we saw how she was just messing up a lot, and how she was just, like, fumbling and stuff like that. She was just very, you know, surprised and stuff, and all that. She was all over the place. And then here in part 2, we even see how she treats Adrian when he's you know, transformed, and how she treated Felix, who she thought was Adrian, when she gave him the dog Miraculous. Like, you know, she wasn't that professional hero that she usually is with everybody else. Because with him, it's like she's fumbling her words, she's all over the place, she's all excited and stuff like that. And she talks about how, like, oh yeah, you're gonna be seeing a lot of him in the future, because I know for a fact that if Marinette gave Adrian a Miraculous, she would always be picking him to go help her with an akumatized attack. Like, come on, like, there is no doubt that she would do that, and she would, until she realized that, okay, I can't do that all the time. Like, she'd have another Crew Neko episode where it's like, okay, I have to choose the right people for the right job and not just Adrian every single time. But yeah, that's like if Adrian wasn't Chat Noir, and if she did actually pick Adrian, and you know that's what I'm talking about. Like if that was the universe that we were in, which you know is pretty dangerous for sure. I think that's something that she has to work on in season 5. Like just being like, all right, yeah, I gotta be somewhat professional when I'm Ladybug and I'm around Adrian. I mean, because like, you know, she is a hero and she can't like just pick favorites and stuff. But yeah, I think that's definitely something that might be brought up in season 5. The fact that she does have an Adrian weakness, and that, you know, not the fumbling with her words and stuff like when she's Marinette and stuff, just like how she acts and what she's willing to give up and what she's willing to do as Ladybug when she's around Adrian, you know. This isn't the first time that we've seen her jump in front of and interact with Adrian when she's Ladybug. She did that with in Volpina, and I'm sure she did that some other times. There are a lot. There's 4 seasons of this show, so I can't remember every single episode, but she definitely has jumped in and as Ladybug interacted with Adrian when she probably shouldn't have. So yeah, the episode ends with Gabriel thinking that Adrian is off and away from Paris, giving him free reign to basically cause chaos. I'm wondering if this could possibly be a sign. So is this a sign that he loves Adrian? I still think that to Gabriel, Adrian is a memento of Emily, which is why he wants to keep him safe just in case. Like he thinks that he's going to win, but there's also that possibility that he doesn't, and he doesn't want, you know, his only memento of Emily to, you know, disappear, to be broken, to die. So I definitely think that that's the reason why he's taking care of him, because like I said, there's so many, he's so neglectful to Adrian's feelings, to Adrian himself, that I just definitely feel like you can't really call what's going on love. Not in the slightest at all. So I definitely do think that he sees Adrian as a prop to remind him of Emily, and that's why he doesn't want him to get hurt. He doesn't want to lose him, because if he loses Adrian, then what does he have to remember Emily by? Her body? Her unconscious comatose body? Like, come on. So I definitely do think that that's the case, and that's why he sent Adrian away. And that's why he doesn't want him to ever get in harm's way, because he's just too precious as an item, but not as a person. But yeah, that's basically my thing with Risk. Now we're moving on to Strike Back. I think Risk overall was a really good episode, really good starter. It was a pretty abrupt ending. It ended with Adrian fighting the Scouter and Marinette willing to risk using the unicorn, the horse Miraculous, to travel to Adrian and stuff. So yeah, it ended there, pretty abrupt. But then again, I wasn't meant to watch it like a month before it actually was supposed to come out. So it probably was supposed to come out like a day or two. Like Strike Back was probably supposed to come out a day or two after Risk. So, but still, that abrupt ending was still pretty abrupt. The other finales I feel like did it a lot better. Like the season 3 finale, I feel like the first part ended in a really good spot. Season 2 finale, I think, ended also in a pretty good spot. And the season 1 sort of part 1 origin / finale, I think also ended in a pretty good spot. But here it ended kind of like really, really abrupt. But you know, nothing crazy. Like we got Strike Back eventually. It was really good. I can look past the abrupt ending of part 1. So yeah, part 2 starts. You can already tell that the animation is even better than part 1. Stormy weather level of quality. And we start off back with Adrian finding the Scouter, and he's not able to use it, but he does have the Scouter now, and I think that's going to lead to something in season 5. What that could possibly lead to, like maybe he could find the Emily basement, or maybe he can use that Scouter for something else. Maybe there's going to be a bunch of shenanigans with that Scouter, and maybe that'll lead to something else as well. But yeah, maybe that's going to be his key to finding Emily in the basement. But it is important to note that he does have that Scouter on him. And we're probably going to be seeing that again in the future. Or maybe at least we're going to find out where Felix got it. Maybe he's going to track down the manufacturer and find out where Felix got his tech from. I don't know. I doubt that it's going to be that. I think it's more going to be Adrian accidentally using it to find Emily's basement thing. So just want to gush over the animation again. I think Hawkmoth or Shadowmoth looks really, really good outside. I just like the angle that they have him in, and just the lighting and just the way that he looks himself. Like, it's just really, really good. Gushing over the animation again, probably not going to be the last time. But yeah, I just wanted to quickly note that. The Strike Back action scenes also looked really, really good. Like I said, the camera movement with those giant monsters I think was really, really good. We've seen giant monsters in the past, but I think this is its best showing yet. Like this episode just really had this monster looking really, really grand. Like, you could feel the weight of its movements, and you can feel the weight of its impact on the street, on the buildings, you know. It just was done really, really well. And once again, kudos to SAMG for their amazing work. So we do get another argument between Ladybug and Chat Noir, and it's about the whole secret identity thing. And I feel like Adrian really dropped the ball on this one, because I thought he was going to be talking about, you know, giving him more responsibility and learning more of the Miraculous holders' identities. You know, he didn't know Nino's or Alia's identity, but he wants to know just as much as Marinette does. I thought that's what he was gonna do, but then he pivots and starts talking about how Marinette doesn't know Adrian's secret identity. I'm just like, come on, I want to root for you, Adrian, but at the same time, you're making all the wrong mistakes. I wish that he did, I guess it's just me hoping that he's something that he's not. He's not the character. Like, I guess he cares more about Marinette fine, but Ladybug told him a million times why he can't why they can't know each other's secret identity. Is more than just like protecting him, is protecting the world, because if they find out that if one of them is akumatized, then the world is in danger. That is repeatedly told to him, to the point where it's just starting to get really, really annoying. Like, stop asking to know their identities. It can't happen, not until Shadowmoth is gone. After that, even though we know that the Butterfly Miraculous is going to be given to somebody else, probably Lila. But once Gabriel is taken care of, then there's a better chance for them to know each other's secret identities. But like, that's repeatedly told to him, and he's repeatedly bringing it back up. I thought he was going to be talking about asking for more responsibility. Instead, he's just proving why he can't be given responsibility. And it's so frustrating. Like, come on. But something that is brought back is Chat Blanc. When Adrian says, like, oh, we're never going to get akumatized, you know, that's when Chat Blanc is brought back. And that's even more proof that Marinette is just continuously thinking about that version of Adrian. I constantly see people talking about how Marinette doesn't give Adrian enough trust, and like, you have to remember that she is traumatized by what happened in Chat Blanc. Like, she is, and I'm glad that they brought him back. Like, they reminded us about Chat Blanc in Senti Bubbler, because I think that was such a good way to just solidify Marinette's mindset. Like, I think if they didn't put Chat Blanc in that dream sequence in Senti Bubbler, and instead just, like, you know, brought him back in this episode, like brought back that memory, that would have been an okay aha moment. Like, oh, that explains why she's like that. But because of Senti Bubbler, and because we know that he's in her nightmares, we know that it's a lot deeper than just an aha, oh, that's why. We understand how she's thinking. We understand, and I think that's really good that what Thomas did. But we understand Marinette's mindset. We understand that she is scared of that possibility of that happening again. Chat Blanc coming true and the world being destroyed. She's scared, and there's a chance that she doesn't trust Chat Noir, because she doesn't know. If you remember, she doesn't know how Adrian got akumatized. She doesn't know all of that stuff. She just knows that Adrian knows her secret identity, Chat Noir knows her secret identity, and that somehow led to the end of the world. So we know that that's her mindset. She's basically in the dark. So that kind of like adds to that fear of not knowing how it got to that point. But it just shows, and that fear leads to that distrust. And I know that doesn't seem fair, but at the same time, like, she is a human. She is like a teenage girl. She doesn't she's a child. Like, she doesn't know how to deal with everything, and she's not supposed to. You know, she's a character with flaws, and that's not fair to Adrian, but that's just the way that it is. And I like that a lot. I like how she has such a big flaw, and it's not even 100% a flaw. It's just like, you know, she's not perfect. You know, she's not able to, you know, determine what to do all the time. She doesn't know exactly what to do all the time. And I really like what they're doing with Chat Blanc, and I really like how that's sort of like this fear in Marinette, and like, you know, it's in her nightmares, it's in her actions, and it leads to her not trusting Adrian 100%, and that leads to conflict. And I think that's really good conflict. It's not forced conflict. It's conflict that, you know, is created from past experiences. Like, she has this PTSD from traveling to the future, and probably wasn't the best idea. That's why time travel is so dangerous, but Bunnix should have probably been a little bit more careful. But yeah, it led to this, and I just think, once again, that's just such good storytelling and such good character motivation, and like, I think it was just done really, really well here. So yeah, the recap: Marinette is still plagued by Chat Blanc. He's in her nightmares, he's in her thoughts, he's in her actions. She probably does need to talk about it with somebody, whether it be Adrian or Alia or something. But I think like the only way to, like, you know, free herself from this is to talk about it with somebody. Because of this, she's having a really hard time trusting Chat Noir, not because she doesn't like him, not because she doesn't, you know, it's simply, it's a mental thing. She just, you know, there is an invisible wall keeping her from interacting with him and, like, you know, trusting him completely. So yeah, hopefully this is dealt with in season 5. Hopefully we get to see more of this. But I do think that this was done really, really well, and this was one of, like, the highlights of the finale for sure. So we also get everybody finding out about Rana Rouge. Oops. So yeah, everybody knows about it now. The first time is with Chat Noir, and he finds out because, you know, Marinette basically blurts it out because of the tag on her neck. She tries to, like, play it off, but, like, I feel like that only made Adrian even more upset. And then after that, Nino shouted, "Oh, Alia!" Or not? No, he shouted, Rana Rouge, or Rana, what was it? Her second superhero name. And that's when everybody's like, wait, what do you mean? And that got everybody's attention. At this point, Ladybug had captured the akumatized victim, so I'm guessing that's how Gabriel was also able to hear that she was around too. So now he knows that Rana Rouge is still around, and the kids know as well, and everybody knows. And now Marinette knows that Nino knows that Rana Rouge is still around. And she gives, like, this disapproving look from afar, this long distance disapproving look, and says we'll talk about it later. In the end, like, you know, Marinette was fine with it. I think she realized that it's like, okay, yeah, I completely understand. Nino and you are very, very close. In fact, I think that she wished that she could do that with Adrian, or with Chat Noir, or maybe with both, but, you know, she knows that she can't. At least she has Alia. But yeah, I think that was honestly really funny moment. Just like the fact that, just that look that she gave Alia. I'm guessing that was supposed to be, like, you know, not scary, but like, just like, oof. But instead of just that frowny face that she made, I thought that was really, really funny. But yeah, everybody knows now. I love the reaction from everybody. I have to keep reminding myself that they don't know each other's secret identities. But yeah, seeing everybody like going, wait a minute, what? Was just like a really good moment, because I guess all of them knew that Rana Rouge couldn't be around anymore. But yeah, so they start going after Strike Back, they start using their powers, but they quickly find out that Strike Back has the ability to strike back with their own powers, which I think is very, very interesting. I feel like that could have been a lot. I mean, I guess we did see how the city looked later on, just devastating. So yeah, we did get a show of power there, but I just kind of wish that we got to see more of that devastation. So we know that Strike Back took Venom, Clout, Multitude, and Cataclysm. So got a lot of the heavy ones. They used Multitude to, like, you know, separate into 3 people, and then each of them had a superpower. One had Venom, one had Clout, and then the other one had Cataclysm. Venom, like, I guess you can, like, stop a lot of people, like, as Strike Back, but like the Clout and Multitude and Cataclysm were definitely a lot more of the heavy hitters with Strike Back. So I think that was really interesting how Strike Back was able to just steal people's powers. Like, that just came out of nowhere for me. I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty big. I just feel like the show could have like shown just how devastating that could be. Once again, they did show Paris on fire, but just like, I guess like I wish that they showed how devastating it could be. Like, but I guess you have to remember it is a kids show. Even though I feel like a lot of people died in this episode, they couldn't show it all. But it looked like a lot of people could have died in that episode for sure. Like when that one strike back used Cataclysm, somebody had to die from there. I don't know who, but I feel like somebody or a group of people lost their lives for sure. But we don't talk about that because this is a kids show, so we won't talk about that fact. So yeah, Marinette realizes that. She goes, all right, nobody used their powers. Chat Noir, you need to get out of here because I can't trust you with your powers because you have Cataclysm. And if they're able to steal it, then that's pretty devastating. And while that is true, I do have to also recognize that everybody here has powers that are devastating. Like if one of the strikebacks takes the Ox's powers, they're kind of screwed because they can't really hit them anymore. Or if anybody takes Kagami's powers, they're really screwed because she has the power of like wind and water and all that stuff. So like I understand that Cataclysm is dangerous, but like I said, like everybody has dangerous powers. So it kind of sucks that she was just like, all right, Chat Noir, you got to de-transform until we get rid of this risk guy. Otherwise you might use your powers. And she ended up being right, which is really annoying. But like I was like, I'm rooting for you, Chat Noir, but you're breaking my heart here, man. You're making this really, really hard. But at the same time, maybe it could have been different if he was part of the group, if he was with everybody else, if he wasn't by himself. So I definitely do think that was an X on Marinette's part for sure. And I wish that she would trust him more. Once again, I think it's very understanding why, but like I wish that she would trust him more because like, you know, I think it would have been different if he was part of the group and he did have the backup of everybody else if he wasn't by himself. But yeah, part of that was the fact that he did have that risk tattoo and he was, under the influence. So I guess, maybe it would have happened either way, but I don't know. I think it would have been different if he was part of that group. And I just think that singling him out and going like, yeah, you can't be trusted because your power is devastating. It's like everybody's power is devastating. There's no reason to exclude him at all. Like not just for the fact that it's not fair or anything, but just because he could still help. He's been helping, this whole time. So like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just making up excuses, but I just feel like I think that he could have definitely been him a lot more help, even without his powers, even with that risk that he would have used his powers. If he was part of that group, if he was amongst all the other heroes, I don't think that he would have given his power up that easily. But Chat Noir did make me look like a damn fool while I was reacting to this because I was rooting for him and then he ended up using his power anyways. I was just like, Chat, come on. I'm trying to help you, man. So Marinette comes up with a plan to involve Adrian, or at least who she thinks is Adrian, and she uses the Pegasus and the Bunny Miraculous. Now, the time travel is for later, but I do have to note that her outfit and her hair, especially her hair looked really, really good. I definitely liked it a lot. The fusions have been looking really, really good, I think. I don't think there's any fusion that I'm just like, I think all of them look really, really great, and this one is just like no exception at all, especially the hair. I really, really like the hair for sure. So yeah, the shoulder pads were dangerous looking, but I like them a lot for sure. So yeah, she travels to where Felix is, and she relays all the information towards him, and he realizes when she pulls out the dog Miraculous, the one that she's gonna give him, that that's a portal to that's you're able to pull out Miraculous's from your yo-yo. And she's like, yeah, it's connected to my Miraculous box. And he's like, interesting. And I remember I rewatched my reaction to Gang of Secrets, and I saw and I saw myself going like, that portal to the Miraculous box is really useful. turns out that that's the thing that ended up screwing all of us. So yeah, it was very helpful this whole season, but it ended up being the downfall of everybody in the final season. So yeah, Felix, being the ever observer, notices that and comes already starts planning on how he's going to take it from her. I like how he immediately tries to use the dog miraculous power fetch on the yo-yo. He's like, oh, is this how it works? And he touches the miraculous with his hand. The yo-yo with his hand, and Marinette's like, no, that's not how it works. You have to use the dog ball. I just like how he immediately tries to get the upper hand. But yeah, Felix now knows that the yo-yo is his ticket into getting what he wants, and he immediately starts coming up with a plan, and I like that a lot. Also, I like his design as I forgot what he called himself, but I liked his hero design a lot. I liked how it was mirroring Adrian's outfit. Instead of the bell, he has the ball on his neck, and he has a little tiny tail instead of that long cat tail. And then even his design is very simple, similar to Adrian's as well. So yeah, I like that a lot. I like the similarities. Even Marinette highlighting them as well. It's like, hey, dog and cat, you guys are gonna work really well together. And it's like, I don't know about that. And I wonder if that's just foreshadowing to in the future, where it's these guys are never gonna get along, or when they get along, if they ever get along, it's gonna be under extreme situations. It's just something, dogs and cats working together. What was that Ghostbuster line?
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
So yeah, just when things are really, really dire, that's when they're going to work together, or they're never going to be able to work together. I wonder where Thomas is going to take that relationship. So Marinette uses the time traveling miraculous, and she uses it for the first time. Usually we see Bunnex use it, but she's the one that ends up traveling into that TARDIS sort of area, and it just completely surprises Felix. And I have to say, when he was like, wait, the miraculous can time travel too, I had to take a step back and go man, the miraculous are really, really powerful. You have ones that can shake cities and destroy monuments and travel in time and create just whatever you want. It's man, the miraculous are really, really strong. And I feel like they definitely wanted you to notice that, because just to amp up that feeling of dread when Gabriel ends up taking all the miraculous, just to remind you the miraculous, even though they're not the Ladybug and the Cat miraculous, they're still extremely, extremely dangerous and extremely powerful. So it works for me, because when he said that, I just took a step back and went, wow, the miraculous really, really are dangerous for sure. So yeah, that was just really, 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 really funny to note. So yeah, they get everything done in the past, and then they travel back into the present, and things are looking like Attack on Titan. Everything looks on fire. There are multiple giant creatures destroying things and possibly killing people, and it's just not looking good at all. It looks great. SAMG, once again, amazing. Everything in this scene was just really good, from the fires to the action to that final attack with the shield and the portal into the sun. By the way, that was an attack, a move that Adrian used in the season 3 finale, which I think was really cool, just bringing that back. But man, it looks so good in this episode. That moment when those sentient monsters were falling in the portal, I was just wow, SAMG, I'm gonna miss you, at least for the shows. Hopefully you're still in the specials, but I'm gonna miss you, man. This just looks beautiful. It looked like art, so good. And seeing them go into the sun is just, great. That whole scene looked amazing. But yeah, I think there's a possibility that Felix knows Marinette's weakness. That's why Tiki brought it up in the past. She was like, Adrian is your weakness. It's so that we can remember that, and it's so that we can possibly, connect the dots with Felix realizing that maybe that is Ladybug's weakness. It is Adrian. We see how Ladybug reacts and acts around Adrian, and we see how she acts like Marinette when she's around Adrian. She acts very goofy and stuff like that. And I think Felix, being he's such an observer. He's a really strong observer. I think he realized that as well, and is now you know, in the future is going to come up with a plan to trip Marinette up, you pretending to be Adrian, or maybe using Adrian as a hostage or something like that. But I definitely think that that is noted in his head, that Adrian is Ladybug's weakness, which goes back to the fact that she needs to break that, not just, you know, to be a good hero, but to get the upper hand on Felix as well. So that's something really interesting, and I'm excited to see how that works in the future. But yeah, she takes care of Froggy and gives him a charm. So even though they don't really work anymore, she's still giving them out, which she's like, oh, okay, I guess. I mean, they're kind of useless now, because it doesn't look like it takes anything out of Gabriel when he supercharges his Akuma. So he can basically do that to anybody. So I mean, the charm still looks really cool, but I just don't really see the point of it anymore. But you know, whatever, I guess just do it just in case. We know Gabriel isn't going to be Hawkmoth forever, and somebody else is going to take the reins. So maybe when they do, they won't be able to supercharge their what do you call it, their Akuma like Gabriel does. So yeah, all the Senti monsters are taken care of in this beautiful fashion, and it looks really great. And we see Felix as well, like he pretends that he's gonna go help, but he ends up not helping. And he looks at what's going on and he apologizes. And then at first I'm thinking, are you sorry towards Ladybug? Why? You've never shown any compassion towards her or anybody ever, so why suddenly be sorry? I don't know, maybe he notices that maybe Adrian is Chat Noir and he's like, I'm sorry towards him. That's a possibility, but I don't think so, because everybody, like, when they put on those masks, like, they're apparently, like, completely unrecognizable. I think that maybe he was apologizing to the Senti monsters. This goes back to the whole Senti monster theory, and if it turns out that he's not a Senti monster, or if Senti monsters aren't connected with him in some way, or connected to him in some way, then yeah, this whole idea is kind of dumb. But if he is a Senti monster, or if somebody connected to him is a Senti monster, and he has this compassion towards Senti monsters, it could be possible that watching Senti monsters basically get killed, get sent towards the sun, does something to his mind, does something to him. You know, it makes him feel a type of way to see that, because they are his kind. He is a Senti monster, or somebody he knows is a Senti monster, and seeing them, like, you know, just get killed without a second thought could hurt him. And he sees them and he's like, I'm sorry, there's something I can do to help you. I honestly think that's a very, very big possibility. And like, I hope it is, because it just goes back to just that whole wanting to fight destiny and wanting to, you know, break this, like, you know, this idea that like Senti monsters can't have lies. You know, he's taking this direct approach, as opposed to Adrian. If he is a Senti monster, I imagine he won't step on everybody in order to get what he wants. He's going to take a more passive approach, but Felix is he's not as passive. Like, he will stomp on anybody he needs to get that freedom. Like, he's sort of like, no, I won't say it because that's sort of spoilery, but it's going back to Attack on Titan. If you guys have watched that show, then you know who I'm talking about. Like, Felix, very similar to that character on Attack on Titan, will attack anybody who goes against his freedom, will kill anybody that will crush anybody that is threatening his freedom. And I feel like that, you know, he sees a Senti monster and he sees that freedom taken away from them, and he feels bad for them. So that's my idea. That's what I think is going on. And yeah, I'm really excited to see more of Felix and see what that sorry really meant. I do think that it does have to do with the Senti monster though. And I mean, season 5 will tell us. I think all of our answers will be answered in season 5, because after season 5, Thomas is done. So I think he wants to get all his answers, and he wants to get all his answers answered while he's still working there, you know? So yeah, unless Felix is because Felix was created by Thomas. But I was going to say, unless Felix is a character inserted by Zag to set up his own story. But I don't know. I don't think that's the case. So yeah, everything is brought back to normal. Shadow Moth is stomping furious. He's pissed. He jumps off the Eiffel Tower and runs back home. And yeah, and everybody gives back their Miraculous, including Alia. And I'm a little bit miffed on that, but at the same time, I was like, okay, I guess, you know, for the sake of the story, that makes sense. But it's like, I feel like Shadow Moth is still going to target Alia because he found out that Alia is still giving the Miraculous, and it's like, why would Ladybug go to such extent and make such a risk for Rana Rouge unless she was an important person to her? You know what I mean? So I think even without the Miraculous, she could still be a target. You know, I think it's too late. You know, fool me once, shame on you. fool me twice, shame on me, or something like that. So I don't think he's going to get shamed again. I think he's still going to go after Alia, even though she doesn't have the Miraculous. And it's because she was given that second chance, something that Ladybug doesn't really do for people. But, you know, she doesn't have the Miraculous anymore. It's such a shame, you know, seeing her, you know, she's obviously really sad about that. And I hope that even though she doesn't have the Miraculous, she still helps out in some way, shape, or form. She's still that hero. Like, she says that she's still Marionette's friend, even though she's not a superhero. I hope that she's still a hero, even though she doesn't have the Miraculous. I made a sort of a theory in the past that she might be the key to finding out who Hawkmoth is. She has that map in her room that seemingly is like noting where all the Akumas are located or something, or where they start. So I think she's trying to find out where Gabriel or where Shadow Moth possibly lives, or where he does all his operations. And hopefully, you know, she's a big part of that, because she is a sort of a detective slash reporter, and she does have a lot of character and a lot of things that she can bring to the table, even though she isn't a superhero. So hopefully she's not just pushed to the background. Hopefully she's not useless, and she's not forgotten. Hopefully she is a very big part of the team still, even though she isn't Rana Rouge. So yeah, we're getting sort of to the closing of this episode. We have showing that we are reminded that Natalie is still sick, which boggles the mind, because like, why would you go on an international trip if you're still sick? But yeah, she's like heaving out blood in the corner, and Lila notices that and smiles. Now, if you guys remember, I said I was going to talk more about the whole Lila Chloe team up in the future, and I'm talking about it right now. So I do think that this is not a part of Lila's plan, but this is something that she likes. You know, she obviously wanted to go on that trip with Adrian, right? But she's not upset that Adrian turned out to be Felix. I mean, I guess she doesn't know yet, but like, she's smiling. Why is she smiling? Like, things aren't going well, so why is she smiling like that? I feel like that's a hint towards something that's going to happen in the future, and Chloe might be involved in that in some way. I have a sneaking suspicion that Lila has been doing things in the background. One of the reasons why is because we see Lila in God, it sucks that I don't remember her name, but Marinette's mom's art class in Shilin, and I'm thinking, like, why would she be in an art class? Why would she care about any of this? That doesn't seem to be Lila at all. And at first I thought she was just like a placeholder, like just a character that they needed. But it could be like a sort of Master Fu Season 1 situation. And if you remember in Season 1, Master Fu was all in the background, sort of like, he was in the background and sort of like, you know, leading up to him showing up in Princess Fragrance, you know, for the first time. And then later on in the origin story. Oh no, then later on in Volpina. And I wonder if that's the same case for Lila. Like, if I go back, am I going to see her in the background a lot more doing sus activities, you know? Why would she be in an art class run by Marinette's mom, unless maybe she's trying to get close to Marinette's mom and in turn trying to get close to Marinette for some reason? Could it be possible that she knows who Ladybug is? I don't think so. But, like, I don't know. I feel like Lila is up to something, and I feel like she's involving Chloe in some way. And Chloe, being the ever so amazing person that she is completely fine with teaming up with Lila to get what she wants. Like, but I feel like Lila's the one running the show for sure. I wonder what's going on, and I feel like that smile is leading to something. Maybe there's a plan while Lila is awake. Maybe Chloe is supposed to be up to something, or, you know, maybe, you know, she's looking for weakness, and Gabriel's like sort of you know, thing that he has going on, and she finds it in Natalie. So I'm wondering, like, where it could possibly be leading up to, and why that smile was a thing. Could it be because she found weakness in Gabriel's operations? Could it be because, like, there's supposed to be this bigger plan going on in the background? Like, what's going on? And I definitely think Chloe is definitely a part of it as well. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what's going to happen now. Lila has been very much not present in this season, but if she is doing stuff in the background, stuff that we as the audience can piece together, I think that's really cool, and it's something that I'm definitely going to be looking out for while I'm rewatching the episodes. There's also something that we should hint at. There's also something that I think that we should possibly like look into, and it's the fact that maybe Chloe already knew that Felix was Adrian. No. Nah, that wouldn't make sense. There might be a possibility, because I don't know, this is a very big stretch. But if you remember in Gabriel Agreste, Felix notes that, you know, Chloe is an idiot, and I think he maybe even said that Chloe could never find that he's tricked Chloe before. So like I'm remembering that, and then I'm thinking something that Felix says to Lila, and it's like he basically, like, you know, goes like, oh yeah, I'm really excited about this trip to Lila. Lila knows that Adrian doesn't like her, so it could be possible that maybe when Felix goes to the bathroom, and maybe like when Natalie is away, she calls Chloe and goes like, something's up. Adrian is not acting like himself. He's acting really nice and stuff. And Chloe goes like, you know what? That could possibly be Felix. And she goes, oh, who the heck is Felix? And then, you know, Chloe tells Lila about Felix and all that stuff. And then they come up with a plan around that fact, you know. And now everything is going according to plan. And maybe that could possibly be something that's going on. I don't know where that could lead to. That's just a quick little theory, but it's such a big stretch, I don't think that's a possibility. But that's just something to note that was in my head that I just want to lay out to you guys. But definitely I do think that something is going on, and Chloe and Lila, they have some kind of plan going on too, especially Lila. I feel like she's been working hard in the background, and now season 5 is when she might be acting up, and, you know, I don't know what she might be up to, but it might lead to her being on top somehow. So Marinette meets up with Adrian in his room and asks for the Miraculous back. So I thought that there was going to be a sort of confusion between Adrian and Marinette. Like when Marinette asked for the Miraculous back, I thought that Adrian was going to think, oh, she must have found out that I'm Chat Noir, and she's asking for the ring back, and he was going to take off the ring and be like, please give me like a second chance or something, and show that he is Chat Noir. I thought that was what was going to happen, but no, Marinette cleared it up pretty quick. It's like, oh, the dog Miraculous. They find out that Felix was the one that was posing as Adrian. Marinette is like, what? And then after that, we cut to the deal between Felix and Gabriel. So way back during like the fires of Paris, Felix tags the yo-yo, Marinette's yo-yo, and gives and offers Gabriel all of the Miraculous for just one Miraculous, the Peacock Miraculous. That seems to be the Miraculous that he's after. It's related to Senti monsters, and somehow, you know, he for some reason wants it. So we don't know why for sure, but like his whole storyline definitely revolves around Senti monsters for sure. And I think like that just, I mean, like this whole two-parter puts that nail in the coffin for sure. And I'm wondering what he could possibly use it for. Could it be like, maybe like, if you remember, we've been seeing like upgrades to the Miraculous in this season. We've seen an upgrade to the Hawkmoth Miraculous or the Butterfly Miraculous, and we've seen an upgrade to the Ladybug Miraculous. So I'm wondering if maybe Felix found or is trying to find an upgrade for the Peacock Miraculous. And maybe if he is a Senti monster, or if somebody is a Senti monster that he knows and he's trying to protect, could it be possible that he's trying to upgrade the Peacock Miraculous in order to maybe like set that person free or set himself free? I'll go more into it in like a future video, but I think that could possibly be the reason why he wants the Peacock Miraculous. And now like he's willing to trade even like the Dog Miraculous, everything, just for that one Miraculous. That's the only one that he wants. So he's willing to give all of that up, and he does. He gets the yo-yo, he gives it to Gabriel. Another thing that he trades is the ring. Now, a lot of people are saying, and even I am thinking, that the ring is the thing that controls him, or controls like whoever he's trying to protect. And if he's giving that ring away, I'm wondering like why he's so sure of himself. And I don't think that ring can control him, because if he could, then Gabriel would have immediately been like, haha, now do what I say, you know? So I don't know. So I don't think that that ring can control him, and it could possibly just be a keepsake, or maybe, you know, that I have a theory. I don't want to go into it that much, but I think that ring isn't for Felix, it's for somebody else. But yeah, we'll get into that in a future video. All we have to know now is that he's giving away that ring because he doesn't need it anymore. And Gabriel asks, how do I know that you won't come after us with that Miraculous? And he's like, Uncle, if I wanted to take care of you, I would have done it already. I don't know what that means. Like, what do you mean by that? Like, do you have super strength? Or like, are you talking about because like you're in your miraculous form right now and you have super strength because of that? Is that what you mean? And it's like, yeah, I could take you out right now before you can transform into Shadow Moth. Is that what he meant? I don't even know, but like apparently he has some. I mean, I guess he could be like, I could expose you whenever I want. But like, if he exposed him, then he wouldn't have been able to get the miraculous. So I don't know what he means by that. Like, I don't know if he means like physically or if he means like I could ruin your reputation, I could send you to jail, if he means something like that. I don't know. But like, Felix just has so much power behind him right now. There's so much mystery behind him. We need to know more, and I feel like we are going to know more soon. But yeah, I just think that whole scene was very intense. I think that was very good. And it was side by side with Marinette just freaking out and not knowing what to do. So I think that just those two scenes side by side were really, really good. And I like them a lot. Marinette, so Felix has the Peacock Miraculous and Marinette starts to having like a panic attack because she loses the yo-yo. She basically like, she got duped hard. And she just blames herself 100%, which, you know, some of that blame goes to her. Some of that blame goes to Adrian. You know, they're a dynamic duo with this whole blame game, you know. If Adrian didn't trust Felix and if Marinette didn't trust Felix, then none of this would have happened. So yeah, both blame goes to them. But right now, Marinette is just focused on her mistakes and she's just hyperventilating. She's freaking out. It's crazy. And I really do think that was a really well done scene. Like, any show could just have a character start hyperventilating and go like, oh yeah, she's having a panic attack, and it's like, doesn't really feel earned. But this felt like build up from, you know, episode 1 of this season, you know, all the way to this episode. Like, it just, all of it is so much, and just the fact that like everything is falling around her, she's unable to handle it at all, and she's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know who to trust. Like, are you Felix? I don't even know. Like, it's just so much for her. And I think that scene was just so well done. Kudos to the voice actors and voice actresses as well throughout this whole episode, but especially Marinette's voice actress. I think that it was done very, very, very well. Just like that feeling of hopelessness and that vulnerability was just done so well. And yeah, like, she transforms back, all the miraculous are gone. Like, the second that Gabriel got that yo-yo, he was yanking them out so fast that Tiki didn't have time to eat. Marinette didn't even have time to de-transform. Like, there was no chance. And now Gabriel has all of these miraculous. He has the power of time. He has like all these strength miraculous. He has this invulnerability miraculous. He has, and by the way, he's an adult, so he can use all of these without any problem. And what I imagine what's going to happen is he's going to use the Hawkmoth miraculous, similar to what he did with the Peacock miraculous. He's going to fuse with these miraculouses. So Time miraculous and Butterfly miraculous. Time Miraculous and Ox Miraculous, Time Miraculous and Kagami's Miraculous, Dragon Miraculous. I think it's, no, I don't think, is it the Dragon Miraculous? I think it's the Dragon Miraculous. You know, all of these Miraculous he's going to be able to fuse. And maybe, I wonder if that's what we'll talk about how the setup is in a future video. But yeah, I definitely do think we're going to be seeing a lot more fusions from Gabriel for sure. Which is, God, so I'm excited to see what these character designs are going to look like. Yeah, so yeah, that's both those scenes were really, really good. Very vulnerable scenes that I felt like very, very powerful. And I myself didn't cry, but I definitely feel a lot more connected to these heroes for sure. And I'm sure somebody did cry watching these scenes. But yeah, we are on a rooftop, middle of the night. Shadow Moth makes his announcement in like similar to the Origins episode where he's like a butterfly head. Only this time he's like surrounded by the Turtle Miraculous shield, and he's also surrounded by all the symbols of all the other different Miraculous. So looks pretty cool. And he basically goes like, Ladybug screwed all of you guys, and the only way for me to stop, you know, harassing you guys if somebody gets the Ladybug and the Cat Miraculous. So I don't know if this was like a call to action towards all the Parisians, like, hey, if one of you guys get the Miraculous, then we're all good. Or if he's just going like, yeah, I'm going to get the Miraculous, and until then, you guys are going to have to suffer. I don't know which one it is. I definitely feel like he was trying to like turn the audience, or not the audience, but like the crowd against Ladybug and Chat Noir, which is just like, you know, just showed how powerful it was when all of them didn't turn and instead like supported and was like, Ladybug, Ladybug, Ladybug. I think that was really cool. And it just shows that these guys have been through so much with Ladybug and Cat Noir, and they recognize that they did all these things for them, which thank God. Like I would hate it if it was like, hey, Ladybug, you suck. And it's like, for 4 seasons this girl has been protecting you. So let's calm down. I like how they recognize what Ladybug and Chat Noir have done for them. But yeah, that was a really cool scene with that crowd and everything. And Chat Noir also like motioning to them like, these guys, the people of Paris. It definitely shows that pride in their country. It's like, oh yeah, in their city, and it's like, oh yeah, that's really, really nice. I do question how all of those people arrived so quickly around Ladybug, like so quickly. It's like they all got the Parisian group chat telling them to come in front of. I don't even know what that place is called, but come to this national monument as quick as you can. We gotta root for Ladybug. But yeah, I think that was a really nice scene. But before that, we also get Marinette's apology to Chat Noir, and I do think that it is warranted, because even though I do understand why Marinette doesn't trust Ladybug, I also do understand why Chat Noir is just frustrated. Like, why don't you give me more information? In fact, they've been doing that even before Chat Blanc. Like, I remember when Ladybug would like keep information about Master Fu from Chat Noir. That was the first time that Adrien gave up the Cat Miraculous. So that's definitely a problem that I hopefully is fixed in the future. Like, giving Chat Noir more trust, I think is definitely something that needs to be done, and I think the only way to do that is for them to talk, and hopefully we get that sort of episode in the future. But yeah, we get Marinette's apology. She tried to handle everything on her own, which is very understandable. Like, she's a kid given all this responsibility, and she doesn't want to mess up, so she thinks that she has to do it on her own. It reminds me of like a sort of like Itachi sort of mindset, in a way, like trying to handle everything on your own, and that ending up backfiring. So if Thomas is a fan of Naruto, I wonder if he got that idea from Itachi. I think that's a cool little thing, and it just, once again, it just feels like a sum of everything that's happened in this season. And I know a lot of people, like, they don't like that slow burn. They don't like how they probably would want like Marinette to learn her lessons in one episode. But I do like how it was that sort of journey, and that's why I wait until the review to like judge a lot of the character decisions on their own. Sometimes when characters are out of their own character and they do something that doesn't make any sense, I will call it out. But if it's like, offensive to like, minorities or whatever, then I would call it out. But like, if it is like for the story, and if it is like, Marinette, not trusting Adrien for a specific reason, or doing this for a specific reason, and it all leads to this, then I can understand that more, Marinette is this kid given all this responsibility. She's trying to handle it on her own, and ended up backfiring, and she realizes that. I just think that's really good storytelling right there. So yeah, hopefully she talks to Adrien more, she talks to Chat Noir more, she talks to Alia more, and she gets some like of that weight off her shoulder, hopefully that is the case. But things are back to that like dynamic duo, so hopefully she's giving that more room in order to do that. It would be funny if in that first episode she actually feels sort of relieved that she lost that power, but like she's ashamed to say it or something like that. I think that'd be pretty cool. It would be interesting to going back to that duo. I feel like you can't ever go back to that season 1 through 3, or especially that season 1 dynamic duo feeling. But I definitely do think that we're kind of like going back towards that, but in a more mature mindset, if that makes sense. It's not the same as season 1 because they have gone through so much. So I wonder what that duo is going to look like. I think that's really interesting how, like, season 4, like, Marinette sort of had it all. Like, she had all the Miraculous, she had everything, like, things were so different, and then now things are sort of going back to the way things were, but not 100%. I just think that's really, really interesting, and I think that's really, really cool how season 4 was that unorthodox season, and how, like, it's sort of like that out of place season. I think that it just showed like what I also think that it's also a season that showed the future of the Miraculous. Like, I think that she got it a little bit too early, but like, it's sort of how she wants things to be run. In the future, I imagine that she's going to be giving Miraculouses to people that she trusts, and they're going to be a team instead of just 2 people. I think that's going to be the case. And, that's the idea, that's the thing that we want, but it was just too early for Marinette to handle right now as a kid. So maybe after season 5, she'll be in a better mindset to handle this. I mean, she'll still be a kid, but maybe she'll grow up in a way that will have her be more ready to take on that responsibility. We're just gonna have to wait and see. I definitely think Suha is gonna give a mouthful to Marinette and stuff, even though he doesn't really deserve to, because there were giant robots around and he did nothing to help. So like, hopefully Suha is more of an active character and maybe introduces Marinette to the Order in season 5, because he was really no help in season 4, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, I think that this was a really good ending, a really good finale as well. The ending was really good. It had the soundtrack, the voice acting, Chat Noir not, going "I told you so," but instead going like, "Hey, I am here for you. They are here for you. We're gonna get through this." So I like that a lot. But yeah, that's basically it. I'm at an hour and 37 minutes. Oh my god. Both parts of the finale were really, really good. I really, really enjoyed it a lot. The visuals, the voice acting, the story, the action, all of it was so good. And I mean, I'm excited for season 5. I'm excited for the London special that is coming up, which I will be talking about. For a while, the Miraculous is going to be the name of the game for my channel for a while, as well as like other stuff like the Owl House and Kamen Rider, but there are a lot of videos that I have to make for Miraculous Ladybug. So stay tuned for that, because I have the season 5, similar to my season 4 video that honestly had I think it was like my most viewed video. But similar to that video, I plan on making one that has to do with all the news that we've gotten so far for season 5, on top of what I think is going to happen for that, as well as the London special as well, because we have some stuff for that and I have some theories for that. So that's a video that I have to make, the review I have to make, some other theories besides that with Lila and Chloe I have to make, Suha, maybe I'll make one as well. Like, there's just so much. There's so much, and I'm so excited. Also, the London special is coming up soon this spring, so look out for that. And then the Africa special is coming out later on in this, I think, fall of this year as well. And then I think the season 5 is going to premiere. I think that's how they're going to do things, unless something happens. But hopefully nothing happens. No global pandemic, no anything. Just honestly for the sake of my sanity, not just for this show. But yeah, this season, honestly, probably my favorite season, just because they tried so many new things. Alia was such a big part of it. And it was just so much fun. It had its mistakes, sure, but I think overall season 4 was very, 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 very good. And while I didn't dislike season 3, I think a lot of people that did dislike season 3 will say that season 4 was a step up from season 3. But yeah, Strike Back, Right Risk, both really, really good episodes, and a good farewell to SAMG for episodic episodes. So if you guys were able to stick through this whole breakdown, thank you guys for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Tell me what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section down below. Tell me what you guys thought about my reaction, and I'll see you guys for future videos. Until then,